Fighter jets paraded across Taiwan's skies on Sunday, marking the island's National Day. Addressing a rally outside the presidential office in Taipei, leader Tsai Ing-wen continued to rebuff comments made by Chinese President Xi Jinping, who said he wanted to see a peaceful reunification with Taiwan.
We will continue to bolster our national defence and demonstrate our determination to defend ourselves in order to ensure that nobody can force Taiwan to take the path China has laid out for us. A path that offers neither a free and democratic way of life for Taiwan.
China has long claimed Taiwan as its own territory, with the island facing growing military and political pressure to accept Beijing's rule. That includes repeated Chinese Air Force missions in Taiwan's airspace, which Tsai says has seriously affected national security and aviation safety. China's activities there have been condemned internationally. Tsai's speech comes a day after Xi vowed to realize China's reunification with Taiwan. Although he didn't directly mention the use of force, his comments drew an angry backlash from Taipei. Tsai said only Taiwan's people can decide the future.
We will not act rashly, but there should be absolutely no illusions that the Taiwanese people will bow to pressure.
Though Taiwan has repeatedly called for talks with Beijing, it refuses to deal with her and instead has branded her a separatist. She warned her people on Sunday, quote, "We do not have the privilege of letting down our guard."
It is imperative.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said on Sunday that she was confident Congress would raise the debt ceiling after a temporary increase runs out on December 3rd, saying not doing so would be, quote, "completely irresponsible and a self-inflicted wound." Yellen called raising the debt limit a housekeeping chore for lawmakers and said it was simply their responsibility to pay the bills that resulted from past decisions they made, referring to roughly $8 trillion in spending Republican lawmakers had backed during Donald Trump's presidency. Last week, the Senate approved a short-term fix after a lengthy partisan standoff. On Friday, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell wrote in a letter to President Joe Biden that he would not help Democrats again in raising the debt limit. But Yellen said she was confident that Congress's Democratic leaders, quote, "will be able to manage this so we don't face this situation." She ruled out invoking the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, which says the validity of U.S. public debt shall not be questioned. Some Democrats have argued that that could be used to invalidate the debt ceiling, but it would entail a legal fight that would likely go to the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, congressional Democrats are working on Biden's sweeping social spending bill, but have yet to agree on the size of the multi-trillion-dollar package. Yellen also said she was confident that the 15% global minimum tax rate agreed to by more than 130 countries last week would be included in that spending bill, and that she hoped Congress would pass it. In the desert of southern Israel, a team of 6 scientists have begun simulating what it might be like to live on Mars. The red-hued Ramon crater will be home for about a month to the 5 men and 1 woman participating in the mission. Their Amadi 20 habitat is tucked beneath a rocky step. Inside, they sleep, eat, and conduct experiments. Outside, they wear mock spacesuits fitted with cameras, microphones, and self-contained breathing systems. Dr. Gernot Gromer, the director of the Austrian Space Forum running the project, says the more mistakes they make during the simulation, the better.
We have the motto of fail fast, fail cheap, and have a steep learning curve, because for every mistake we make here on Earth, we hopefully don't repeat it on Mars, because we've done it before.
The Austrian Association is collaborating with the Israel Space Agency and local group D-Mars. The 6 team members are constantly on camera with their vital signs monitored, and their movements inside the habitat are tracked to analyze favorite spots for congregating. 36-year-old Alon Tenzer is on the simulation team.
Yeah, we're 6 people working in tight space under a lot of pressure to do a lot of tasks. There are bound to be challenges. But I trust my crew that we're able to overcome those challenges. We learn how to work together, we train together, and we're very confident.
Outside, other engineers and specialists will work with a drone and rover to improve autonomous navigation and mapping on a world where GPS is not available. Altogether, they will carry out more than 20 experiments in fields including geology, biology, and medicine, and hope to publish some of the results when finished.
Crowds of people gathered outside Afghanistan's Kabul passport office on Sunday morning, desperate to get travel documents. Taliban authorities began issuing passports to citizens again early last week, following months of delays that hampered efforts of those trying to flee the country after the Islamist group seized control in August. Taliban security officials tried to keep order as applicants became frustrated with the chaos. This man said passport office officials announced they would distribute some 25,000 passports to the people. He started queuing for his at 4 a.m. and said there has been a lack of order and discipline. The Taliban's Interior Ministry spokesman said last week that those thousands of applicants had reached the final stage of paying for passports and that roughly 100,000 applications were pending. Poverty and hunger have worsened since the Islamist movement took over Afghanistan. The United Nations also says 500,000 people have been displaced in recent months, adding that the number will only grow if health services, schools and the economy break down.
At least 16 people have died and several were injured in a plane crash on Sunday in the Tatarstan region of Russia. That's according to the RIA news agency, who cited the emergency services. The TASS news agency said the plane had been carrying a group of parachute jumpers on board and that 7 people were pulled alive from the wreckage. The plane, a Let L410 Turbulent, is a twin-engine short-range transport aircraft. Russian aviation safety standards have improved in recent years, but accidents, especially involving aging planes in far-flung regions, are not uncommon.